When I have a lot of questions, I know that's often just a sign. It's when I'm disguising my lack of confidence, but I'm making it seem like I'm learning and I'm just trying to do a good job. I had this back in my healing modalities class when I was learning all about hypnosis. And I was wanting to make some recordings of hypnosis. I later then did. And I was hesitant to actually do it on another person, to do it with them, to help them, because I was like, I don't know if I'm quite clear on all the do's and the don'ts. There's got to be that right way of doing it. And some may say that it's kind of like a perfectionism, and I don't think of it that way. I don't use that word with myself most of the time. It's more of that I disguise it as learning and thinking, but I'm going to get a deeper understanding. And isn't that a good thing, to be able to make sure that you know what you're doing? Meanwhile, I had already had a lot of training on this and I already knew what to do. And as a matter of fact, I had done some practice sessions. I was just really lacking confidence in this. And so even though I had done them in class and practice and was told that, yeah, you got this, and I had done them with other people as a part of my practice, I was still questioning myself, right? And so I knew that I was just overcomplicating this. I call it the illusion of complexity, that there must be more rules for the do's and the don'ts. And that's why I can't move forward. And that's why I can't do this with my clients, or that's why I can't make a recording and offer it to others, because I was making it a lot more complicated than what it ever needed to be. So I added all these extra hurdles. And then one day I was really expressing this out loud, because before this was all my internal dialogue, and I might ask questions from my mentor of do's and don'ts, and ask classmates do's and don'ts, and then, ask the people that I was doing some tests on, like, what did you like? What didn't you like? And they all seem like really good things, right? They are good things, but I didn't feel like I had enough information to move forward to the next. And then I would come up with more questions about the do's and the don'ts. So I was really complicating this beyond anything that needed to be. And so it wasn't until that I started expressing it outwardly. So I started telling my friend that, I feel like I don't have all the answers. I still have more things to learn, and that I have these other questions about do's and the don'ts. And as I was explaining it, I realized, like, oh my gosh, I've asked this same question over and over, just in different ways. And my mentor is going to get really sick of answering them if I keep going. I'm sure she probably was. And same thing with any of my classmates. They probably were also annoyed at, like, okay, we get it already. You're ready to just move on. Just, here's your kick in the pants and just go. But it was that expressing it out of my body, as opposed to just asking an additional, but what if in this situation? But what if in that situation? Do you do this or do you do that? And not to say that those still may not be good things to ask, but I was using them as hurdles. And so I think that's the key thing that I want to express, is that, yes, I wanted to learn more, but I was building them right here, right in front of me, so I could not move forward. I wasn't moving forward. And when you're not moving, you're stuck. And that's what I was doing. I was building a fortress around my stuckness. And my stuckness was about my belief in myself. It was about my confidence. But when I started expressing it outward and telling people about it, that, I saw what I was doing. When it's inside your mind and inside your body, it's hard to see everything. That's why creative expression is so important. Expression of any sort is so important, because it gets you outside of you and you see a different perspective. It's like looking at the house that's across the street from you versus being inside the house and seeing what's going on. You get two different perspectives, two different ways of thinking. And that's what happens when you express. So you're moving from the inside looking out to the, oh, this is what it looks like on the outside. Now I see it. Expression is the key to so many things. Whether you tell somebody, you write it down, you sing about it, you create an interpretive dance, or you do art. That's my thing, is I start doing art, or even just speaking it out loud, whether that's to yourself, or sometimes I record myself and then listen back to it, and I hear all that, like, that's just silly, and I see my way forward. I see exactly what I'm doing to myself. And that is the power of creative expression.